Time to start your engines and be part of the conversation. You can always ask the experts, Raffi Manassian and Dan Rosenberg, because it's now time for Clutch Radio. The show starts now.
Look who's here.
Hey, I'm back.
Welcome to a sort of live version.
It's sort of live.
It's live right now. It's just when you're watching this, it won't be live.
No, unfortunately, you cannot call in or text in to the show. Today is a pre-recorded show to take advantage of some scheduling needs that we had to fulfill.
Yes, and it is an evening. We're actually recording in the evening. That's why Raffi has the sultry look.
Yes, I'm sultry for the evening.
We thought of just going live. It's 8:00 on Friday night. I thought, who's going to tune in? Although maybe we should. Maybe we should have just gone live tonight and just re-aired that in the morning. Totally different audience. If
That's
we were just
right.
live all of a sudden.
Friday night audience.
Yes. So the car business, welcome to Clutch Radio. This is what we talk about. We talk about cars. Buying, selling, trading, leasing, collecting,
You name it.
restoring.
Anything to do with cars.
Anything at all. And normally we say, post your questions in the comments and we'll respond to them.
But you can still post. We promise we will answer them next week.
Yes. We're not live, but good morning, Jake. Good morning, Adam.
Say that. Yes. Our regulars.
Yes. So there is a lot's been happening in the car world. Prices are changing.
Yes.
Interest rates are going up.
Yes.
To the point where, I'm seeing people with CDs for 4%.
Oh,
at local
4%.
banks. I saw a 4% one for 17 months, which is a weird calculation.
That is unusual.
But yeah, so you can make 4% over the next 17 months.
And 4% is pretty good. If you're not fighting inflation and you have a fair amount of, let's say, cash assets, then 4%, good place to park for some safety. You can park up to 250,000. That's FDIC insured. So,
and this is related to cars because he's talking about parking.
Yes, this is parking, and then you can pull that money after earning 4%.
You can back it out.
Months. You can back it out,
Beep,
and you can go
beep.
buy a new Porsche.
You can, and I'm up to my neck in Pontiacs right now.
Oh, that's right.
I've got the 79, which, that's a keeper.
Yes.
The Fiero, I mentioned, that needs a new belt, and we're going to put brakes on it and then try to sell that one. Well, there's my two Pontiacs, but still, it's a lot of Pontiacs.
That's true, especially for a defunct brand. Pontiac is no longer in existence.
I think I've owned more Pontiacs than any other brand of all the cars I've owned.
Well, wasn't your dad a Pontiac dealer or a?
No, he had an auto parts store.
That's true. Yeah.
And General Motors it is true. Thank you. At General Motors, you confirmed it. Because if you said no, he is a Pontiac dealer, I'd be, I guess he was. Raffi said so.
Well,
because Raffi knows.
Well, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. But yeah, I mean, and we drove Pontiacs. My first car was a 79 Pontiac, not mine, my mom's. And I'd say, hi, Mom, but she's on a plane with me right now as this is being recorded, or as this is being aired. T-Mobile has free Wi-Fi and streaming on Alaska Airlines. And I thought, if I'm on the flight at 10 a.m., I wonder if we could do Clutch from the airplane.
I don't think so. I don't think it would work.
It says it's got streaming, but the upload's there's probably good download speed. There's probably no upload speed.
Yeah.
But that would be interesting to do it live from 35,000 feet. But not going to happen. Anyway, but I probably have to look at my list of cars. And I think Pontiac, because I had the 79 Bonneville was the first thing I drove. And then I had a Fiero. Then I had another Fiero. And then I had Catalina. And then another Fiero. So I've had 5 Pontiacs. I have all my cars.
That's a lot of Pontiac.
Chevy might be number one, though. I think I've had more Chevys.
Now, I'm not sure why, but some people call Pontiac ponchos.
Ponchos?
Yeah. Have you heard that term?
No.
Yeah.
ponchos.
If you had a Pontiac station wagon, it was a poncho wagon.
I don't know. That's
Yeah.
and the Pontiac, I'm sure today, because there was an Indian, was their a Native American was their
Yes.
logo originally. I'm
Mhm.
sure Pontiac would be canceled at this point.
That's
If they weren't already canceled,
yeah.
they may be
Well,
canceled.
they were gone long before cancel culture became popular. I think Pontiac gave up. Has it been 10 years now?
2010.
Yeah. Wow.
2010 was the last year, the last model year of the
Wow.
Pontiac. And there's very few of them. There's a few of the Pontiac vibes out there. That was the last car to roll off the assembly line. Or
Very few
a
vibes.
G6, one of the two. But they made an amazing car at the end, the G8.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
if you can find one, they're almost sticker price what they were new right now.
I believe that.
They're
A friend,
really nice.
a friend of mine has I want to say it's almost like root beer orange. It's a metallic orange, deep orange color. Really nice car, low mile, beautiful looking car. That's a car Pontiac should have been making all along.
Yeah. Yeah. G8 ended July 2009. There were only 5,000 unsold G8s in inventory with over 30,700.
That's not many cars.
Yeah. Prices have dropped 5,000 below sticker for the car.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. If you buy one now, it's probably about what you could have bought one for back then. Here, let's pull up a picture for you. I mean, that's a good looking car.
Oh, no doubt.
I'd take a BMW 5 Series.
Now, what's the two-door version they made of that?
They had a GTO for a little while.
That was it, GTO.
That was actually a little bit before then. Well, there's the truck version of it.
That's a truck version of it. I've not seen that. That was did they didn't sell that here?
No, that might have been, let's see what it says here.
Is that
that's the Holden Commodore.
Yeah. There you go. You were holding out on me, Dan.
Yeah, that's the Holden Commodore. And that reminds me, there was a fella I was hanging out with over the weekend. He's originally from Australia, and he owns a 1955 Holden pickup truck.
A rare truck.
Super rare. He said he's got the only one in the United States.
Yeah, that would be rare. 55 is also a really good year for that pickup truck. They called them Utes.
Yes.
Utility Ute, UTE. So the Aussies call them Utes, mate. That was probably ill-advised.
Yeah, of all your accents.
I got to work on that one.
Let me see if I can find a picture.
Yeah, so the Holden Ute was really the pickup truck of Australia. And for the most part, what's interesting about the Ute was that they were enormously popular in Australia because, a lot of agricultural communities and sort of cowboy lifestyle, especially in the 50s and 60s in Australia, super, super popular vehicle. They sold them by the, tens of thousands. And Holden was very well known for making these. That's an early 50s one. Is that a 50? That's not a 55.
I Googled 55. That came up.
That's
It says FJ Holden Ute, 1955.
55. Okay. That is early. Yeah, maybe the one I was thinking of was a 57. The body style was very different. Anyway, these were super popular and unique to the Australian market. They didn't make them out here in the States. Yeah. Good looking truck.
Yeah, it's right-hand drive.
Yeah. And lots of utility with them.
Yes, the Ute.
And they made them all the way through. I think they still continue to make them. Some of the ones they made in the 70s were some pretty cool looking, bright colored, wild 70s graphics. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the one that we just saw, that actually was the modern version, the one that we saw with the G8 front.
Yes.
That was the Ute.
Yeah. Yeah. The Australian market cars are actually really interesting, especially because they had their own muscle cars as well. Some of them really, really neat looking. Uh, Holden Monaro and Ford had one, the Falcon, uh, which was the car that they used, the Mad Max car.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And really good looking cars, especially when you compare them to some of the American muscle cars. And it's kind of nice because you see them and they look a little different from the cars we're used to seeing. Like our Torino is different from their Torino. Um, and yet they're really very, very well resolved, nicely designed. Um, and some of them now are really expensive too.
Yeah, this is the Holden sedan.
Yeah. It's a good looking car.
And there's the Ute right there.
Yeah, much smaller cars than the American models that were being made at the same time. Yeah.
Wow, that's a good looker.
Yeah, I think so. Those are panel deliveries.
Oh, look at that.
That's the Holden Effigy. That's a show car that was made by Holden, I'm going to say 10 years ago.
Yeah, 2005.
And it was said to be sort of an homage to Holden's participation in the hot rod community. And it's a really, really good looking, well proportioned hot rod.
Wow. It's got a Corvette floor on it.
Mm-hmm.
Built on a Corvette floor pan, 6-liter V8 engine.
Yep.
Root supercharged, 644 horsepower.
Holden Effigy.
F and G is right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
I keep looking at the comment section. Why is nobody commenting? Oh yeah. Sorry, we're not live. This is pre-recorded last night.
Now, the Holden Effigy was part of kind of a series of cars that were being done by car manufacturers to sort of look back. And they called it retro design. So they were looking back at some of their company history and doing some fun stuff with different designs. And a big part of that was the hot rod movement that in the mid to late 90s got extremely popular. And so this is my sort of segue into an early session of Old School.
Oh, let's go to Old School. Let's play the little doohickey here. Hold on a second. Where is it? There is it.
Run the doohickey.
Here we go.
Audio Jungle.
Well, we're going to go to Old School, and this time we're not going too old. We're going to go back to 1997.
Oh.
We're going to visit the Plymouth Prowler.
Oh, yes, yes.
Now, the Prowler was a really interesting vehicle. Chrysler had been considering doing something that would sort of fit or match the surge in the hot rod market that was happening. Now, at this time, Tom Gale, which was Chrysler's top design executive and at that time international director, he loved cars from the 30s. And he'd always done some pretty interesting sort of retro design stuff. So he decided, along with the Dodge Viper, they were going to build a kind of a hot rod. And at that time, Chrysler was in the midst of a sponsored project with Art Center College of Design, where young Chip Foot was had submitted a concept for a contemporary hot rod. His had been done as a coupe, and it was a mid-engine coupe that would ultimately be called Hemisphere, powered by a Chrysler Hemi engine mounted in the middle. The Prowler, however, would end up being a V6 front engine hot rod in the style of what Chip Foose had penned. So Chrysler, the parent corporation, decided to build this vehicle under the Plymouth brand. So they offered it just for 3 years under the Plymouth name, and then they had to change it to Chrysler because the Plymouth brand was dropped. So for 5 years, from 97 to 2002, the Plymouth and Chrysler Prowlers were
easy for you to
say. Prowlers were prepared for market, and just a little bit over 11,000 of the Prowler were built. There were several versions of the car, and you can see this is probably the most well-known, the one that Dan's got up right now, kind of that purple metallic. There was such minimal trunk space that Chrysler offered as an option a spare trailer which you could pull alongside. These today are selling for very reasonable money. You can find them for anywhere between $25,000 and $40,000, depending on the condition and miles. And they're really quite fun. A lot of people remove the giant front bumpers because those are required for impact protection. Without those bumpers in place, boy, it really looks like a very, very aggressive modern hot rod. My understanding is these handle really well. I have never driven one, but they're supposed to be fun performers and apparently very reliable.
Well, here's one I pulled one up that's for sale locally,
Ah,
just to
what,
see what kind of money we're looking at.
and the asking price is
The asking price is $59,999.
59.
Asking $60,000 for this thing.
That's a lot of money. This thing better have no miles.
It's got 5,500 miles.
Well, that is low miles, but does it have any custom features? There's something special
Well,
about
some
it?
stickers on it. Let's see.
That's a lot of money. Maybe I need to freshen up on my Prowler market.
Well, I mean, you could also just go for a PT Cruiser.
Yes. Now the PT Cruiser was also really interesting retro design as well, but it was not. Although they sold more PT Cruisers than they did Plymouth Prowlers, they were not really. They weren't really great cars. Just sort of average. They were basically Dodge Neons with a different body on them.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Now, if you go to the car, well, I know I've got to go. Hold on a second. Let me see how many are available online here.
Yep.
Quick search. The problem is you have to go Chrysler if you want a later one. And you have to go, like you were saying,
Plymouth, if you want
Plymouth if you want an earlier one.
and the earliest one, the 97s, those are the most rare. If you ever find one and you find a nice, I think they only made like maybe less than 500 of them that first year. That's the other color that's really popular, is that kind of yellow gold color. It actually looks pretty good in that color. What are they asking for that one?
This one, let me close this real quick. 41,844.
That's a little better.
It only has 14,000 miles on it.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it's got the trunk with it in the back.
Hmm.
Yeah, there it is. It's on the showroom floor at this dealership.
Yeah, I mean, for 40 grand, you're going to have an awful lot of fun. You're going to look very unique in it. It's got air conditioning and heat, and the top is very well designed. It's got all the safety features of a regular sedan. Yeah.
I mean, it looks like a stretched out PT Cruiser.
Well, the PT Cruiser was a four-door sedan.
I know,
So,
but it's just like a stretched out. Yeah, I went local. Let's go nationwide. They're 27 in the whole country.
wow.
And the lowest priced one is, and this is right there on autotrader.com where you can find a lot of cars.
Yeah.
Here's a nice orange one,
Mm-hmm.
12,000 miles for 34.
There you go.
Another yellow for 4,000. I love this blue color right here.
Isn't that nice?
Wow, look at that.
Yeah. I think that's sapphire.
Oh, I love this car.
Isn't that nice? There's a lot of, I mean, if you're looking for some eyeball for not a lot of money and reliable too, you could drive this car cross country.
Aftermarket stereo.
Yeah.
But look at this, $383 a month. It's in New York though.
That's a lot of fun for under $400 a month.
Yeah, $27,000.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, look at this. Here's a Pittsburgh Steeler one. Oh no,
Oh, there you go.
This is Purdue Boilermaker colors also.
Mm. Oh yeah.
Wow, that's a little too much.
That's a little over the top.
Did they make them in white?
I've never seen one in white.
Yeah, me neither. There's a silver one.
Silver I've seen.
This one they took the bumpers off, it looks like.
Let's see. Yeah, much better. Doesn't that look better?
Yeah, it doesn't look safe, but yeah, it does look better.
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to be careful parking it.
Actually, it looks a little weird like that.
It looks so much better without it, in my opinion.
It's missing something. I guess because I'm just used to seeing it with it.
Yeah.
I think I would want the bumpers, but so
You're
here's an
very
02. Now you said the 97 is the first year,
97 is the first year. Very hard to find.
but that would be a Plymouth.
Yes.
So we'd have to search for Plymouth on that one.
Possibly. Sometimes they just list them as.
Let's just look under Prowler. All right, I just dropped the Chrysler name, and now it's got 1,000 results for Prowler. Hold on a minute. That can't be right.
Maybe there's another company that names Prowler in there. You might have to search specifically for Plymouth Prowler.
All right, let's go by year now. Yeah, it's automatically bringing up Chrysler.
Ah,
So I can do Plymouth Prowler. Yeah, I guess it is considered. Oh, here we go. Plymouth Prowler. 91 results. Wow. The prices go up.
are there 91 97s for sale?
No, there's 91
Prowler.
91 Plymouth Prowlers, and there were only 27 Chrysler Prowlers.
And is there a 97 for sale?
Here's a 97. Look at this, baby.
Yep.
$50,000.
That's the first year. Those are rare. 97 is rare.
Wow. Now it's weird. You know, this is like the best sales tool ever because every time you do an old school, I'm like, I want that.
Yeah. Well, it's because, the thing behind old school that's so interesting is that when a car gets first bought, the price is way up here. Over time, it starts dropping. Then it gets so low to the point where it just doesn't make any sense to really keep one unless it's got really low miles. And then what happens is the few that remain, the price starts going up. And on some of these cars, it takes a longer while for people to wake up and go, wait a minute, I can get that for how much? And then they start considering it. And that's where cars like this start to get really interesting because, it's a 20-plus-year-old car, but the technology, for all intents and purposes, much the same up until about probably 5-6 years ago when, cars started to change dramatically. But these are a lot of fun. And again, easy to maintain. They're not expensive. If you needed to have the brakes done, it's the same as getting your Dodge Neon brakes done. You generally aren't going to have any major issues with this because the drivetrain is a Chrysler product. The biggest challenge you'd have with something like this again is if you had wet weather to consider on a regular basis and you were driving this as a regular vehicle, it might present a little bit more problem than a regular car. But for fun and games and warm weekends and highway cruising, this is a great way to go.
Hey, look at this one. Here's the 99.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting on a showroom floor.
Yeah.
In Renton.
Probably low miles.
I see it's got the old Plymouth logo on it.
Yep. From
That's so wow, just to see the Plymouth logo.
Yeah, the ships to Plymouth Rock.
And it's all plasticky.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Prowler.
Yep. It's very 90s.
I mean, they took pictures like Raffi. Look at this. It's like tons of pictures. This one's got 2,800 miles.
Yeah, that's a low mile car.
$35,000.
Not bad, and a lot of fun. A lot of eyeball. When was the last time you saw one on the road? Yeah.
I don't think I can remember a time seeing one on the road.
That's right.
I think next time, when you're back in town after your semester's done,
mm-hmm.
and it's January, I think maybe we should do a road trip and go test drive some of these cool cars.
Yeah, that's a great
We should
idea.
contact the dealer, say, hey, we do the show. We'll mount a couple cameras on it. We'll pre-record it. We won't be able to do it live, but that would be fun. Just to, I mean, the Prowler is really, it's a lot of car for 30 grand.
I tell you, if you go drive one, you'll wonder why you're not buying it immediately. Because
You're really selling hard.
hey, I'm just telling you, it's old school,
Raffi's
man.
good at selling.
It's old school.
It's like, how can Raffi hurt my pocketbook? Yeah, the thing is, I'm looking at the auctions right now, and like CarMax used to have, 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago. Oh, hey, Ray. Sorry, we didn't say hi to Ray. Good morning, Ray. This is pre-recorded.
And Bob, don't forget to say hi to Bob.
Oh yeah, hey Bob and Dan and our Canadian girlfriends, not girlfriends, our Canadian friends that are ladies.
Yes.
Isabel and Janice at Bainbridge North Storage, of course. Hello to you. Good morning.
And our friend from Ireland.
Oh yes, our Irish friend. Sorry that we're pre-recorded and we can't answer you.
Yes.
I guess I probably should have said. Did I have a thing for that?
And apologies to the viewers because I am a little bit more tired than usual. And the reason why is because I had my Omicron bivalent booster today. So I'm feeling a little groggy from it.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah. So I'm not my usual perk yourself.
We aren't ignoring you. I'm just like that.
You might want to put the banner on that says this is pre-recorded.
Yeah, I just remembered I should put that on. Should have had that on earlier.
There you go. You can go back and edit it in.
No, I'm not spending that much time. As soon as we're done recording this, I'm going to schedule it to air live tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. This morning at 10 a.m.
This morning at 10 a.m. Let's get back to what you were talking about, because the industry is changing, and it's been changing over the past 2 months alone. We've seen, as you said, the dramatic increase in interest rates, but also, surprisingly, prices of new cars have been going up. And because the demand for used cars, because people have decided to back away from spending big money on a new car, especially with the interest rates going up. So used cars, whereas before there'd been many on the market and selling at high prices, now they're even more on the market, but the prices are dropping.
Yeah.
And this is also becoming true of classic and collector vintage cars. The frenzy for buying them seems to have cooled off for a little while. It's probably going to settle down. There'll be some good buys out there, probably over the course of the next 6 to 8 months. And then I think by summertime, things will start popping up again.
Yeah. I also think that there was a lot of uncertainty with the elections and, gas price. I just drove by the local gas station on my way to get my son a chicken sandwich in Paulsbo today. $3.69 at the reservation. And my mom right now has $1 off with the Safeway discount, so she can get gas at the Texaco for $2.69.
That's unbelievable.
I might follow her in the Catalina and fill it
There
up.
you go. Yeah, you fill the Catalina up, and it's like cheap storage for gas, because you almost lose half a tank when you're driving home after filling it up.
It actually gets pretty good mileage. It's getting 17, 18 miles a gallon, which isn't bad for that big 305.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But the amazing thing is, I don't know why I'm using a pen here. The amazing thing is, so the CarMax auction 3-4 months ago had 330 cars.
That's a lot of cars.
And last week they had 89.
Bless you.
Thank you. I hit the mute just in time.
Yes, you did.
I did not want to edit that out. But yeah, it's amazing the demand. I mean, people that are selling their cars, because CarMax was just buying up cars left and right. Carvana was buying cars left and right because they had to keep up with their demand. Their stock is down 97% over year over year.
97%.
Yeah.
That's a big loss. Now, what's happening, Dan? I was going to ask you, I planned to ask you about this earlier. What's going on with Tesla, while Elon Musk is distracted by the shiny object formerly known as Twitter.
I read an article that somebody wrote that used to work for Elon at SpaceX.
Ah,
And they basically said he was just a funding source. He has no friends. He came in, he had an idea, he hired the right people that hired the right people, and he would come up with these crazy ideas, and they would just placate him and then convince him of this other idea that was great. You know, they do the Jedi mind trick on him, where they convince him it was his idea, and that he's just not the genius everybody thinks he is.
hmm.
And he's a marketer, and he's, you know, Tesla behind the scenes is probably doing better without him being involved.
Ah, interesting.
I'm
Well,
not what's that?
He's certainly made a mess of Twitter at this point, and one might think, well, maybe he's a mad genius, and this is just a way for Twitter to get tons of advertising, tons of focus and interest because of what he's doing is so ridiculous. Everybody has to talk about it, and then he's got a slow plan to regroup and rebuild, and then he looks even more like a genius.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I would love to get an S class, the Model S again.
Hmm.
You can't order one.
Yeah.
I think you can get the Plaid is pretty much, what's the time frame here? November. Oh, that's the base one. Oh, it looks like November to February if I ordered one right now.
That's not too bad. I mean, we're in November.
Oh yeah, it says if I get a Model S, I could get one. I could get one by next month. Oh, that's different. They must have reopened the assembly line of these. It's also $127,000.
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't that like I think that's more than Dan wants to spend on a car.
Yeah, I'm not spending that on a car.
Yeah.
I can't. But it's very streamlined now. It's the dual motor all-wheel drive, 5 color choices, 2 wheel choices.
Yeah, 900 horsepower or something.
3 interior choices, and that's it. You can add full self-driving capability. That's the only option.
Would you want full self-driving capability?
It scares me.
Does me too.
I mean, you still can control the car. Like my car has like some autopilot-ish stuff.
Sure.
And I'll use that. Like if I'm getting a bunch of emails all of a sudden, I'll put that on and I'll glance down for a second, but I'm not going to trust it for a few more than a few seconds.
Yeah.
But it did make my drive back from California when we bought it much more enjoyable because my son was like, "Oh, what's that over there?" And I could actually look without worrying.
Yeah.
Because it'll keep the distance between the car in front of you, and it'll keep you in your lane.
Well, and that's helpful, especially for people that aren't the most attentive drivers. And, eventually we'll have pretty much all that type of stuff on every car because we're gradually moving towards having vehicles that will be able to drive by themselves on a more regular basis. They won't be fully autonomous. I don't think so within our lifetime because full autonomy takes an awful lot of effort and coordination. But I think we'll have still vestigial steering wheels and driver controls for quite some time in an automobile.
What do you think of this steering wheel?
Well, is this the Tesla one?
Yeah, this is what's in the Tesla S now.
So this is part of Tesla's plan to eventually have no steering wheel at all. So by eliminating a portion of the steering wheel, the top part, which tends to be the most visible, it becomes sort of a visual clue that eventually there's going to be no rim at all, just a hub. And even the hub will then just recede into the dashboard. That'll take some years for everybody to get used to. But right now, I think this is a little awkward. And I know someone who has this car, and she had said that it took quite a bit of time to get used to like parking because you can't do that wheel swirl that you do when you're parking. And so it's a little bit harder to control it. But she says, she's now getting used to just letting it self-park. So.
Wow. I guess that's true. You just get out of the car and
yeah,
it'll park.
Yeah.
What color? If you could choose, what color would you get?
Uh,
White's free.
yeah. The I like the blue. That one. Yeah.
All right. Which wheels would you go with? That wheel or that wheel? I like that wheel.
That wheel. Yeah.
Excuse me. All right. Interior now. We can go with black,
No black.
white.
White's a little too stark. I think they have a cream or an ivory.
There's the cream.
Yeah. That's not bad. Do they have tan?
That's kind of tan.
Okay. I take
Those are the
that.
three colors. Sorry.
There's our interior.
All right. And then you can get the enhanced autopilot, or you can get the full driving. We'll go with the full driving.
Yeah.
So our price is now $135,990.
My goodness.
Excuse me, I apologize. It's $158,990.
That's what was the additional 20 grand?
They subtract the gas savings. So actually you're paying 158,990 is what you're paying. If you do a lease for 36 months, you're paying $22.90 a month.
That's a house payment.
If you do a loan for 72 months, you're looking at a $2,500 payment.
That's also a house payment.
Yeah.
So for all our listeners, do not buy a car with a $2,200 car payment.
But then again, I mean, my lease on the Polestar is like $450.
Yeah, but $450.
That used to be a mortgage payment.
Yeah, well, in the 60s.
But still, you think 50 years from now, people will be like, don't get a,
you'd have to be making an awful lot of money to pay a $2,200 a month car payment.
That's true.
That's a lot of money for a car payment. A reasonable car payment is anything under $500 for a car that is, because most new cars, the average price of a new car is $43,000. So if you got a $400 and some car payment, that's fine. If you have, depending on what your situation is with your cash, put as much cash down as you can if you must have a new car, so that your payment is as low as it can possibly be. Savings rates now are, as Dan suggested earlier, quite good. So you can get some good interest on a savings on a CD. So you can get a car payment that is low enough with interest rate that is not through the roof. Then you may be better off carrying some paper and having the cash on hand to earn the interest in the CD. Just as a side note, Dan, in 1979, after I graduated high school, I spent the summer buying and selling cars just for fun, and earned a little extra cash, put a little bit more cash in the bank. And I had planned to go to a school that was going to be much more expensive than UCLA, where I finally ended up going anyway. UCLA was $230 a semester at that time.
Wow.
So, yeah. So I had a ton of dough, and I went to the bank and I asked the guy at the bank if I could lock it up in a CD, certificate of deposit. He said, yes. You want to lock it up for 5 years, we'll give you 17.9% interest. And so I locked it up for 5 years at 17.9% interest. It was almost double the money when I took it out.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Speaking of money,
yeah.
If you had to guess right now on Auto Trader, what is the cheapest Model S, Tesla Model S out there? Cheapest one.
These are new or used or mixed?
The cheapest used one.
Cheapest
that's available. It's in the Seattle area. Cheapest used one.
Model S.
S.
I'll say 38,000.
And you would be well over 29.5.
29.5.
And look, it's being sold through Tread, ironically enough.
29.5. That's a great price for that car.
It is, and it actually looks like my old car. Wait a minute.
Top of the line car. How many miles?
It's got 103.
That's nothing. It's mostly tires and brakes on these things.
I wonder. Let me look at the VIN real quick. What if this is my old car?
Is it a 2013?
Oh no, mine was a 13. This is a 14.
So if you do buy a used Tesla, make sure that you take it to the Tesla dealer and have them do a software scrub on it. Just have them check to make sure everything is okay, that the car hasn't had software issues. It's got the software updates. It's worth doing. It's not hugely expensive. Or if the prior owner had that done ahead of time for you, then you could take a look at the results.
This one is spec'd out exactly like my old one.
I remember your car.
Yeah, it's rear-wheel drive, which is sad. Speed limit mode, 88 miles per hour. Wait a minute. I think that, I mean, this is almost the wood panel's a little different.
Yeah,
The same scratches on the rear lid.
it looks very much like yours.
Yeah. Oh, I miss that car.
You could get another one.
I know, for less than I'm paying for my Polestar.
Yeah. Well, do we have a car of the week?
Well, we've talked about a lot of cars of the week. We've talked about the Prowler. We've talked about
No, car of the week.
I know, but I'm saying we've talked about so many cars that could be the car of the week.
Oh, I see.
Ray is. Let's see. Ray did send me a text.
I thought
Hold on.
maybe you might have gotten a text from Ray on one of the cars that he has. Did he sell his Toyota?
No, but he does have that van.
That van is super
Oh my
cool.
God. He sent a picture of himself driving it. And I'm like, that's probably the best investment you've ever made.
I think so. I don't know if we're supposed to say what he paid for it, but he got
he said it last time.
Okay. $900 was it?
It was $1,000. It was $1,100 plus fees.
Good for him.
But I mean, look how happy he is.
Oh yeah, he's happy.
I mean, it's only got like 2, 4, 6, 7 seats and a big ramp in the back. Look how clean that thing is.
It's really clean. It almost looks like Michigan State colors.
Yeah, it's either purple or blue. I can't really tell. The pictures all look different.
It looks a little purplish, which I think isn't that Michigan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ray's a happy camper when it comes to those.
Oh yeah.
In his camper.
There you go.
Also, here's our car of the week. Our good friend Jim Peak, who's in our car group.
Oh yeah.
He has a really nice
roll our bumper for car of the week.
Oh yeah, we got to roll the bumper. Hold on, here we go. Let's get the car of the week.
Nice.
All right.
Now this is, if you have never owned a motorhome, this is really the way to go. These are fantastic motorhomes. They are, first off, these are Class A motorhomes, which is very important because the Class A motorhome allows you to be fully self-contained. So they have sleeping quarters, they have a bathroom, they have refrigerator, cooking provisions, plenty of storage, and big point, you can actually drive this into any national park, any small shopping market or things like that, and you can park in regular size spaces. So this is very important because if you want to travel with one of these, this is a great way to get around, not have to pay a lot of money. You can sleep overnight in it. They're lockable. They're very safe. And the majority of the systems that are built into the newer ones, they're no longer running on generators. They're running on battery power. And they are very, very efficient. Now, this is a Mercedes version. And this will be the more the premium model that you'll find. But this is a fantastic vehicle. Did he send some shots of the inside, the interior?
Yeah. It's just sadly it's not letting me scroll. So I kind of have to pull them up one at a time. I mean, look at that.
Yeah, it's plush as anything you'd ever find anywhere, and just a great rig, easy to maneuver, easy to park, very, very plush inside. I mean, this is like Rockstar tour bus level. So,
yeah, and what amazed me, it's got a shower and a bathroom.
Yeah.
It's got a microwave.
Mm-hmm.
Air conditioning, obviously.
Big screen TV, I think.
Yeah. Let me see. We'll pull up one more picture here. Now he talked to his local dealer, the dealer I think where he bought it. There's a picture of the microwave.
Yep.
And they told him they would, I guess, take it on consignment and they would list it for 129.5.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's like, holy crap. Like that's a condo.
You don't
In
want
some
to know.
part, that's a house in some parts of the country.
You don't want to know what it was new though.
Do you know what it was new?
Well, I know what those can be new. I'm guessing his was probably pretty close to 180, maybe 190.
Wow.
Yeah. It takes a lot to make a vehicle like that. It's uh, and the markups on them tend to be high because they don't build them to sort of an average level. So they got a lot of leather and they got a lot of amenities, and people want all that stuff. And it's a Mercedes, so it's going to be a premium vehicle. But if you wanted to go camping, or as we say, glamping, uh, this is a pretty good way to go. Although it is funny if you think about it, it's $129,000. That would buy you an awful lot of hotel rooms at night with a regular rental car and just pulling over and staying overnight in a Ramada Inn or even a Hilton Express or something like that. And then once in a while you can stay in a much nicer place. But 129K, it's a lot of dough. Uh, so unless you really want to get out there and see the world, which is a lot of fun to do, I love a road trip. Um, but a Class A motorhome is a good way to go.
So this is a Class C, the
Mhm,
one I just pulled up here.
mhm.
This
Yeah,
one's got a 2-bedroom basically.
yeah. This will have bump outs and uh, it'll be wider. It'll be limited in terms of where you can park it. Also, your access to other places will be very limited. So it's not the most. You usually see uh, Jeeps being towed from behind this giant rig because they're hard to get into smaller places. So they tend to park them in the Walmart parking lots and then uh, drive around town in the little Jeep.
So this one's a 25-foot length,
Yeah.
and they're asking 135 for this 16.
Mm.
And this one has 45,000 miles.
Now
Bas-
that's a wider one. I don't think that's a Class A.
Now this one's a Class B plus.
Yeah.
Is that our friend John has one? And so is our friend Neil. Is that what they have? Is it
No,
a Class
I
B?
believe both John and Neil have Class A motorhomes. I believe.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think they are. Again, with the Class A motorhome, your use case is so much more versatile. You can go lots of different places with them. Your parking privileges are not compromised. It's quite a bit better and much more advantageous, unless you have a large family with you or you just need the extra additional living space.
yeah. I mean, this is just it's unbelievable that this is close to John and Neil's.
Yes, and now understand that contemporary RVs have come a long way since the old thin aluminum sided Winnebagos that so many people associate these with. Uh, Modern amenities in these vehicles, just they really are quite amazing, including state of the art electronics, communication systems. Functional air conditioning, large volume air conditioning, something that has not always been very reliable. Uh, Built-in systems for on-the-road internet and uh, Wi-Fi compatibility and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, here's the cheapest one on this one company's site.
Yeah, there you go.
Kind of ugly compared to the others.
Well, it's they have a range of looks. That's a long wheelbase one. That's not. I don't think that's not a Class A.
But it is Class A,
It is Class A.
but not a Class A.
What's right?
This says it is a Class B gas motorhome. Plus, do you want diesel on one of these, or does it not matter?
Well, it used to matter when diesel fuel was a lot cheaper, but now, believe it or not, uh, regular gasoline is more available across the country than diesel is. So even though you might get slightly better gas mileage for the price of diesel fuel and the availability of it, pretty much all seasoned campers or RVers will tell you buy a gas burner and not a diesel, because a diesel fuel is harder to find now.
Now this one they're saying B and A. There's no Class A's. Wonder why.
The Class A motorhomes tend to stay with their owners longer. Usually what happens is people buy the bigger motorhomes, they use them for about a year or so, and they realize they're too big or it's too limited in terms of what they can do. So they bring them back to the dealer and they take the loss on the trade. And they usually go to either a van conversion if they are no longer interested in being self-contained, or they go to a Class A motorhome where you can be self-contained.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There's just that part of me that would just love to, spend a month on the road in one of these.
It's a lot of fun. And if you're interested,
So this doesn't look like the same quality as the Unity.
Well, it depends on the brand.
Yeah. This is a Winnebago. You'd think Winnebago.
And Winnebago does a good job. What year is this one?
This is a used 2022.
Yeah. I've seen some of the newer Winnebago ones, and they're better looking than this.
This one's a 128.5.
Yeah.
Wow, we turned into RV talk.
We did. We didn't mean to. And look, our time is almost up.
Oh, wow. We're going to do a short show.
Yeah, well, we should probably wrap up for the day.
We will wrap up. Program note, this is pre-recorded, as I mentioned, so we were not ignoring you. Please feel free to put comments in the section. Please like the video. That really helps us a lot.
We like it when we're liked.
We like being liked. Where did I put the there we go. This is pre-recorded. Again, don't know why I have a pen. It's like I'm being a talk show host.
Yeah.
Tuesday will be the movie show instead of Monday. I'll be traveling back on Monday. So it'll be Tuesday evening will be the Eridan Film Festival, 5 p.m. Pacific time, which is the specific time, 8 p.m. Eastern. And the movie is Rushmore.
Rushmore. Wow.
Yes, a Bill Murray movie.
Yeah. All right. There you go.
All right. Well, anything else you'd like to add, Raffi? And then Raffi will be back back in this area in like 3 or 4 weeks.
December 15, I believe, is my actual arrival day.
Oh, you're missing the screening by a day.
It might be the 16th. That's why I'm not sure yet.
All right. Well, either way, we'll have to Zoom you in, or have to we'll have you appear remotely maybe. And hopefully we'll do Clutch Radio next week.
Well, we'll see what we can do.
If you're available. If not, we'll do something.
All right.
But thank you all for tuning in. We will see you next week. Again, please like, please share, please comment. So there's an algorithm of some sort. I don't know how it all works. But now we'll play the old guy washing his car, because that's how we end.
See ya.
Bye.